meeting us today. Again, my name is Jordan Rodriguez, and I'm the co-founder and CEO at the Knowledge House. And I am so excited to be in Atlanta to launch the Knowledge House programs. It is almost surreal that in a month and a half, we'll be welcoming our first cohort of students in Atlanta. Yes, thank you. We are so excited. We'll be welcoming a group of youth and a group of adult job seekers that will, be on the path towards meaningful careers in tech. And we could not have done it without the community support. So thank you for welcoming us. We really appreciate it. Today is a time to celebrate. Not only is the need in Atlanta, and we know because as our first speaker mentioned, Darrell, Microsoft has launched an innovation hub in Atlanta. So the tech jobs are here. And Microsoft is not the only one, right? We heard that Google is setting up shop here. Nike just announced that they're opening up a tech hub here. Salesforce has a big tech workforce here. So the need is here, and the demand is here as well. Because the Knowledge House has been operating in the New York City area for about 8 years, and we're finally expanding to Atlanta, to Newark, and Los Angeles. And the applications with the most numbers are coming from Atlanta. So the students want us here, and we are happy to be here. So today we will hear from a lot of partners that have been supporting us on this journey. We heard today from Darrell Booker. He's the corporate affairs specialist at Microsoft. And his team is helping match Black and brown entrepreneurs to pro bono resources at Microsoft. So they actually gave us our first grant to expand to Atlanta. It is a 3-year grant, and so we're so excited to be partnering with them. So appreciate Darrell's partnership. He is also on our regional advisory board. And so I wanted to also introduce other speakers that we will hear from today. You'll hear from our community partners, some of our education partners, and we have a special treat. You will hear from one of our graduates via video today. So I wanted to introduce our next speaker. We have Ryan Shepard. He is the Associate Director of Programs at CARE ATL. And CARE ATL was one of the first partners for us in Atlanta. We actually connected a year ago. I spoke on a virtual panel and was so excited to be introduced to what they call the World's Innovation Hub in Atlanta. So without further ado, Ryan Shepard.
Good. It's good to see y'all. I'm excited about the Knowledge House expanding to Atlanta. As Geraldine mentioned, we had the opportunity to connect last year, kind of in the thick of the pandemic and the quarantines. We were hosting a virtual speaker series that we do every week called Tuesday Talks. In fact, Ladarian, my colleague who produces and co-hosts the event, is with us this evening as well. And we got to learn a little bit about the work that the Knowledge House was doing. And at that time, I think Atlanta was still a prospect. It wasn't quite certain that things were going to come this way. We shared a little bit about what we're looking to build at CARE, and especially the work that we're doing here in Atlanta. So as Geraldine mentioned, part of what we do in the US is we operate an innovation hub at our headquarters. And a fun fact about CARE is that we actually coined the term care package in 1945 and sent the very first care package in 1946. And so with our work around the world, we started to realize that there was tremendous opportunity and potential to get active here in the US. And so through partnerships with organizations like the Knowledge House, using our platform to take great ideas and great innovations from our global network of over 100 country offices and pair them up with challenges and try to find pathways for new solutions here in Atlanta and across the US. So we are really excited to be welcoming the Knowledge House and to be partnering with the Knowledge House and the amazing things that are going to happen here in the Atlanta community. I can't wait to see everything unfold. So thanks for having us and welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you so much, Ryan. And Ryan is also on the Knowledge House Regional Advisory Council. So we are so appreciative of his advice and support throughout this journey. Our next speaker is coming from one of our anchor partners, Inspired EDU. I would love to welcome Monisha Freeman. She's the Director of Programs and Partnerships at Inspired EDU, and they provide the general public with digital literacy and tech devices to put them on successful career paths. So we're so excited to partner with you all. And with further ado, come. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. We are very, very excited to be able to connect our work to the Knowledge House. At Inspire EDU, our focus is to make sure that we cover all aspects of digital inclusion. So we want to make sure that people have high-quality devices that they can use and that they own. And we can support those devices because there's no Geek Squad for the community yet, right? So we want to make sure that they get the technical support that they need. We want to make sure they get access, or we have access to digital skills training. And not just not only high-level certifications, but basic skills training. Because I think all of our technical skills have been tested in the past 2 years. You thought you knew until you had to unmute on Zoom. So, right? So, Inspire EDU is just proud to be a bridge to help our parents and our students have a pipeline to opportunities. We want to encourage them to go to college, to pursue secondary education, whatever that looks like. And for some people, that's going to look like boot camps. That's going to look like one class. That's going to look like a course, 12-month, activities. It's going to look like a myriad of things because we're not a monolith. And what we need when it comes to education and career success is specific to who we are as people. So we are proud to be a supporter of the work that the Knowledge House, the impact, should I say, that the Knowledge House is making in Atlanta, to join forces with them. I think that this is a collaborative effort, right? Atlanta is a space that I think is pretty welcoming. And I think that every space that I've gone to in the past 2 weeks, I've seen familiar faces. And it's so beautiful that I see familiar faces. Miss Champion was at one of our workshops last week as a parent. Then just so happened that she's a teacher at one of the schools. And then today we talked to the principal. It's just so beautiful for us all to connect our skills and pool our resources together so that we really can make a collective impact. And that's what Inspire EDU wants to do with the Knowledge House. I'm excited to see where we go. And I just, really, really thank you guys. I do have to say, I'm sorry, I went on a tangent there a little bit, but the Knowledge House and Inspire EDU will be supporting the courses and classes at our facility over in Midtown. If you guys ever been to our space, we have a warehouse where we refurbish the devices and support the devices, but we are also a lift zone, so we're able to do training. So we're opening our space up for the Knowledge House to be able to come in, do some training, hands-on activities for the, just really support that part of the work. And then again, like I said, we have about 1,500 to 2,000 families that we support each year, and we want to build that pipeline into programs like the Knowledge House through our young folks and through our parents who are looking to change jobs and upskill. So I'm happy to also connect to other partners in the room that are supporting the Knowledge House because we are all in this together, right? So thank you guys so much.
I got to stoop down. But grew up with Microsoft Philanthropies, and as Geraldine mentioned, we first met as part of our initiative to really focus on how we are providing services for our underserved communities, for our Black and brown youth, and making sure that they have everything that they need to do the education that they need from a tech standpoint. We want to ensure that technology is not a barrier, but instead is an enabler, and ensuring that organizations like the Knowledge House can be really successful, serve as many of our young people as possible, and honestly allow them to do things like expand to Atlanta, to LA, and who knows where after that. and just really excited that they're here to be a part of, you know, such a thriving city and everything that has to offer here. Ironically, we as Microsoft also decided to, you know, make roots here and kind of expand. So as I think about, you know, the people that will be coming through the Knowledge House and the skilling that they provide, you know, hopefully there'll be future engineers with us or a lot of the other tech companies and, you know, different things that are coming here. So really thank everybody for being here. For those that are not familiar with Knowledge House, I hope today that you can, you know, meet everyone that's here, the staff, you know, get an understanding of what their mission is, and really help us to encourage your young people to be a part of the program so that they can get that valuable skilling that they need. Oftentimes we rely on our schools so much to do everything, but we all know teachers are understaffed, underpaid, and under-resourced, and it's really the Knowledge Houses and, you know, some of the other partners that are here that are really filling the gap. So thank you all for being here. I think we'll have dinner and then some other things later on, but thank you all and enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Inspire EDU, and thank you, Richard, CEO at Inspire EDU, for joining us today. As Onisha said, this is all about collaboration. And literally, we could not do this without partnership. And we definitely don't want to do it without partnership, right? And so it's so important to have stakeholders across K-12, higher ed, community-based organizations, and corporate partnerships to support the talent that we will prepare for the future. And so, especially as being an in your partner, we are so grateful that you are hosting us so that the adults can be in your space. They can have in-person support, devices, internet, etc. So we look forward to that. So last but not least, I wanted to introduce one of our students. He could not be here today, but what I will tell you about this student is that he was a graduate of our 2020 class. And, you know, the Knowledge House historically has gotten 75% of our graduates their first job in tech after our program. But Jahaziel was a part of the class that achieved a 100% placement rate. And so this happened during the pandemic, right? And so Jahaziel is just proof, like a proof point of what is possible when communities come together and support talent. And so right now, Jahaziel is working full-time as a technical project manager, and I'll let him share his story with you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jahaziel Israel, and I'm a technical project manager at the Knowledge House. But I really couldn't say that 2 years ago. 2 years ago, my life looked completely different. I mean, imagine this. We're at the beginning of a pandemic, and for me, at this point in my life, I was struggling with housing insecurity. Listen, it's so difficult to get an apartment, an affordable apartment in New York City, but that's a whole other conversation. But I was struggling with housing insecurity, underemployment, looking for new opportunities, and as I'm looking, I'm realizing, you know what? I need to learn some new skills. And so I had a conversation with my brother. My older brother's actually a back-end engineer. He's always been the family nerd. And he told me, you know what, bro? I saw this post for this program. It's called the Innovation Fellowship at the Knowledge House. Check it out. And I know if you do this, you'll crush it. But for me, I'm kind of just bro, I'm more creative. I love working with my hands. I love design, graphic design and, things like that. And the program that he recommended I take was the web development program, which is building websites and apps. So all things considered, I kind of thought about it. I went through the application process and I got in. But there were still a lot of challenges that I had. I didn't have internet at home. I didn't have, consistent income coming in. I was struggling with housing insecurity. I was living in temporary housing. And so there were all of these other barriers that were just making something that should have been easy and simple a little bit more difficult. Not to mention, I was also dealing with this internal stinking thinking, or what we call imposter syndrome, where I kind of felt like, I feel like I'm in over my head and I don't even know what I'm doing, right? So, but the Knowledge House was so awesome because they provided so many different services. And I want to talk about 3 of them. The first one is that they provided one-on-one case management services directly for every single fellow. And when I tell you, like, when it came to needing a laptop, I didn't have Wi-Fi, so they provided me with a device where I could have portable Wi-Fi in my temporary housing until I was able to finally get my own place. They offered housing support. There were so many different resources that I was able to tap into that made my experience less cumbersome and allowed me to really focus on learning this content and these very, new technical concepts. The second thing that the Knowledge House really was amazing at doing was fostering a sense of community. Even though we were in the middle of a pandemic, you would have never known, because the amount of ways that we were able to engage each other as fellows, as students in this program through tools like Slack and Discord, late night, like 2 o'clock, 3 a.m. sessions on Discord, and then that eventually led to us actually meeting up in real life, and so there were a lot of ways that even though all of us were in different parts of the city, we were still able to stay connected as we were learning. And the Knowledge House was really great at being able to curate that community. And then the final thing that the Knowledge House was super awesome about was providing career support towards and not just at the end of the program. Every week we had, on Thursdays, we had career class where we would meet with career coaches, we would do technical interviews, we would do mock interview prep, we would have access to many different resources and tools to learn about updating our LinkedIn. I mean, it was just so amazing the amount of services that the Knowledge House provided. And to be honest, I'm so glad I chose this program and not any other program, because they really addressed all of these other needs that other programs just wouldn't even think were important. And I think what's so cool is that the Knowledge House empowers you to be your authentic self and to show up and to really gain these skills and change your life. And so I'm super, super glad that I chose the Knowledge House.
Isn't he a rock star?
Yes.
He is such a role model. He was always helping his peers with their projects, with inspiration. And even though he did a pivot, right, because instead of an engineer, he became a technical project manager, he still feels empowered, and he knows that these skills are life-changing, and that's why we're doing this at the Knowledge House, because our goal is not to make sure that everyone turns into an engineer. It's that digital skills training is more important than ever, and you can't succeed without having the basic digital skills. And if you have even a foundation of tech skills, you can get a job anywhere. You can get a job in any sector. Right now there are sales engineers, technical content writers, product managers, and the field is just growing and growing and growing. So a fun fact is that the graduation speaker that Jahaziel got to listen to is here in the room. And so it's so beautiful to know that Atlanta's support started very early, even with this last cohort. So Dr. Mirkeya Capellan is here. She's a technologist at Mercedes-Benz, and she was our graduation speaker last year. So we look forward to working with you as well and partnering with your company and putting you in front of the Atlanta youth so that you can inspire them just the way that Jahaziel is inspired. So, folks, that is our program. I want to make sure that you all have time to mingle, get up, get your drink tickets so that you can have some more food and drinks. And I just wanted to conclude the program with a few reminders and thank yous. So the big reminder is we are still collecting applications, right? So applications are open. The deadline is May 31st. As a reminder, we are recruiting for 2 programs. We have a program called the Kareem Carbush Coding Fellowship, KKCF for short, and it is serving high school students that want to learn about technology. They can be beginners. They get paid a summer stipend to participate. The kids really like that. And that program will start in the summer, led by monthly college and career planning workshops. And then we also have the adult program for job seekers. It's called the Innovation Fellowship. That program is a little more rigorous. There is year-long training, 9 months in the evening, followed by a paid summer internship. Okay, so we are recruiting for both of these programs. Remember that the students are learning everything from design, data science, how to code with JavaScript, HTML, and CSS, and we've even launched a cybersecurity program. So there's a lot to learn. So please, if the young people in your life have not submitted an application, please have them submit because March 31st is right around the corner, okay? And we also have flyers for both programs at the front desk and at this back table here. And if you have any questions, we have Shatundra, who is at the front desk, and she's the one that is running recruitment in Atlanta for us. She's done a great job visiting the schools and the community-based organizations. And so I want to thank the partners. You know, I want to thank Inspire EDU, would love to thank Care ATL and Microsoft. And we have another Core Inc. is one of our anchor partners. And so they have been introducing us to a lot of high schools, so thank you so much for your partnership. I was excited to meet the high school students about 3 weeks ago, and they were also excited. They were also thrilled to be learning about tech, to get paid while they were doing it, so we look forward to being in your schools. And I want to thank other high school partners like Marta High Schools, Carver High Schools, and of course I want to thank the community members, the parents, the youth, and I really, really would love to thank my staff. And my staff is in the room. Antoinette here, she is our senior manager of communications and development. So she has been traveling nonstop to all of these cities to make sure that the folks on the ground have the materials they need and the messaging to recruit for the programs. If you have not met her already, Shatundra, she is our community engagement specialist that is located in Atlanta. She's our first full-time staff here, but we are growing, so we'll be hiring some folks to support the students. We also have Joy, who is helping us with some camera work. Harrison is helping us, he's our partnerships manager. And so I look forward to growing our team here, and I thank you all for your time, and thank you for being here. So without further ado, we will conclude, and I hope that you have fun getting to know each other and enjoy the food and drink, and thank you so much. Have a good night. Thank you.